Hello and welcome to MDEV 25. I am Ross here with some creator conversations. We are here with Kit. Kit, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So, Kit, I'm the founder of Artificium Games. I'm a designer by trade. Been working in games all the way since, I want to say, around 2017. I started in Girls Make Games. They're the ones who kind of set me off on the path of working in video games and designing things. Took that, went to college, and now I'm here kind of running my own little baby studio and showcasing my first official game under my studio name.
Let's talk about that game. What's the name of the game, and maybe give me a description of the game in about 10 words or less.
Okay, so the name of the game is Oops, You're the Hero. In 10 words or less, it would be thief turns hero hates his job. So, kind of a switch on your chosen hero, someone who is destined for greatness, but maybe doesn't want to hold on to that.
Awesome. So what types of gamers do you think would appeal to your game?
This is for the people who do not want long games, the ones who want something short and sweet. They can finish it within 2 hours. This is a little adventure game to kind of whet the palate. Now, not everyone has 60 to 120 hours to play, so someone who wants a little indie game to kind of enjoy on the weekend, this is for them. Anyone who likes adventure games, anything sort of Legend of Zelda, Moonlighter. It's got a touch of old retro, even though it's low poly right now.
Awesome. So I have recently played the demo of this game, so I have it on relatively good authority that you have a demo on Steam right now. Mm-hmm. What are the plans as far as demos, next fests, release dates? What are you aiming for as far as the availability of Oops, You're the Hero?
So right, there is a demo on Steam right now. I do update that based on like the feedback I get from players like here, or if like I'm going through and updating it as well. The game is slotted to have a full release fall of 2026. At that point, it'll match up with Steam's Next Fest around that area, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, bring it back to MDEV as a full release as well. It's also available on itch, so there are different kind of avenues that you can get to it.
Awesome. So are there particular platforms you're aiming for? Is this PC, Steam Deck, consoles? What are you aiming for?
This is primarily on PC for the moment. There is a hope for kind of porting it either to mobile or maybe Switch in the future, but there are no promises for that one. Let's get it on PC first.
Yeah, let's ship first. How about that? Yeah. What are the types of games that inspire you right now? We'll take your game out of it so that you don't have to say, well, obviously my game. But what are the types of games that are giving you inspiration right now?
For right now, a big one is Baldur's Gate 3. I love the sort of creativity, the idea that you can kind of make your way through the level with your own creativity. There's no one way to do it. That goes back to a big inspiration is actually Metal Gear for me. That's kind of where my passion started. The idea that you kind of have a goal and you have free reign for it. So Metal Gear, Arcane's games were also a big inspiration for me as well, Dishonored and Prey. I love the way those games feel, the way you kind of have to kind of push yourself to be creative if you don't want to do something.
So my first interaction with you was actually MDEV last year. So in general, what does MDEV mean to you? To start off, it's a great opportunity. Being in Chicago as an independent developer, there's a lot of people there, but it feels almost siloed sometimes when you're working on your project and that's kind of your main focus. Is not really part of a team. Being at MDEV, it means connecting with developers, it means connecting with the players, and then people who you wouldn't necessarily have conversations with, just like being by yourself, especially having to work full time, not in video games. This is a chance to kind of connect and be a part of the developer environment again. That's kind of me. I am also a full-timer, not in video games, and I also very much appreciate being able to steep myself in the Midwest games culture whenever I can. So what is your favorite part about MDEV? Definitely just the amount of people that you can meet. It is sort of like everything's quiet the whole year, and then it's just like an explosion of creativity and seeing everyone's new ideas and getting a feel for not only like for the bigger studios out here, what they're doing, but the independent ones, seeing their visions come to life. And each, at least for the 2 years I've been here, I've seen people who have returned and their games, like they're the same, but they've grown so much, and it's really inspiring to see that.
Awesome. Are there any plugs that you would like to give as far as ways to get to follow what you're making, or any? I mean, you could shout out anybody else you want, but any plugs you want to make?
You can go ahead. I do have a website for this. Obviously, wishlist on Steam. That helps a lot. If you're looking to follow the studio, I post a lot of behind the scenes on my personal. So anywhere you can find Kit. For me, and then the studio is there as well, so you see all the updates there, the follow-up.
Let's reiterate the name of the studio.
Artificium Games.
Okay. Are you a more than one or one person team?
So at the moment, I'm doing a lot of the development myself. I do have a couple contractors who are working with me, someone to handle like all the character models, the composing, animating, stuff like that. They're the ones who have really brought it to life. I can plug in anything I want, but their sort of creativity has lended itself to the game. It wouldn't be where it is without them.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about storytelling in games. So I would say that in general, games do have a supposition that you are often living through the male power fantasy of becoming super duper powerful, taking on all of this additional responsibility, and this is what you wanted the whole time. How does Oops, You're the Hero kind of challenge that narrative?
I think it starts off with the idea, you kind of start off as a bad guy. First off, the initial scene that you're introduced is you're a thief. That's what you want. You want whatever that is. We've had a couple instances where you're playing as like the bad boy, you like kind of being kind of a jerk to people, but he's got a good heart underneath. For this one, it's kind of like he's a jerk, and he doesn't really want to feel the mantra of the hero, and his whole goal is, I just want to hand this out. I don't want to be a part of this. This is not who I am. That's kind of where the game started, and I'm kind of happy to say, even through its different iterations, it's remained that he's not going to change. He's the thief for it.
So I do have a question. So I have played the demo, but I haven't played the full version. As far as player agency is concerned, the goal is to stay the ragamuffin that does not want to do. You as the player can't choose to be good. You have to stay bad the whole time, right? So when you're in a place where the player has to stay with you in not wanting to be the hero, even though a lot of games want you to be the hero, what is the challenge in bringing the gamer along for that story?
I think the humor really lends itself to it, because when you go through the narrative, it's goofy. It's not really taking itself seriously until there are moments in the game where you can choose either to engage with the bosses and the enemies inside of it, or you can just go around it. You don't have to choose anything. You can choose to not help people. Like, you kind of not fill the role that you're destined to. And while you still have the end game of kind of releasing that hero title from you, I think it's still important to give the player that choice to be like, you know what, I can kind of take the easy route, and I don't have to, get my butt kicked in these fights. But I've seen in Divided people who they do want to go around, and you can just hand it off and not worry about it, or people who want to kind of have that challenge. And while you might not have like this huge explosion of being a hero, there's sort of a noticeable change, at least in the actions around you, when you do kind of engage the boss and you end up saving people.
So in the addition of kind of whimsy and humor into your game, what are kind of the inspirations for that? Are they all game based? Is it other forms of media? Where is the denial of the hero's journey? Where's some of that inspiration coming from for you?
The denial of the sort of heroism came from when I was like an edgy teenager, and there were you grow up with a lot of like chosen heroes, right? All the books you read, it's like you are now the special one and you have to kind of fulfill your destiny and stuff like that. And as an edgy teenager, you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go against the grain. But as I've gotten kind of older, you kind of realize it's not so much a sort of grand revealing that you have to save the world, but more so like you have a responsibility that you just really want to get through. You know, there's no fanfare for it, but things still have to get done, and you still have to go through it, but you don't have to be sort of the main sort of stage. You could be
yeah, I would say on the outsides of the industry, I think it does feel like that, where sometimes there's a series of expectations that need to be met before you can do the things that you want to do. And there is certainly a feeling of the, can I just take care of what I need to take care of first? And I feel that in this game for sure. Is that a byproduct, or was that put in there on purpose?
I think now it's definitely on purpose. The more I worked with, I like thinking of them as sort of alive. As I worked more with the characters and how they've grown from where they started versus how the game ends, it does feel more like I just sort of have to get through this before anything else. Maybe when I started it and it was completely like edgy and I wanted to be like different, but now it's sort of been a growth into who these characters are. And you can see it, maybe not now in the demo, but as I've been working with the story and as you continue through the levels, you can see as these characters are evolving, because you're not the only one who's sort of put into a role. There are other characters who they have their titles and everything, but they'll come to find out that it's not so much who they have to be at the end of the story. You know.
Awesome. So are there any shout outs for inspirations and people that you wanted to give some time in the spotlight, or anybody who you feel needs a little bit more love than they're currently getting?
I always want to shout out my biggest fan, I guess, the one who started it, Lila Shabir in Girls Make Games. She's the one who really started this off for me. Girls Make Games itself is a fantastic place to go for young girls. I've seen how they're able to go into and almost change their own lives when they go and they experience the camp and they learn how to make games. They're connecting with people who are their mentors. They can have their guidance, and those relationships extend past the camp. But the girls around their age who they're learning how to communicate and sort of get those ideas out, learning how to work together, which I think is super important just in the game industry, but in life in general. You have these people who are so passionate, who the same as you. How can you work together to achieve that goal?
Awesome. So yeah, Kit, Oops, You're the Hero, Girls Make Games. Anybody else we want to shout out before we head out?
I think shout out to my parents who believe in me.
Way to go, parents. Way to go, parenting.
And then my lovely partner who has come and has sort of supported me doing all this as I've been stressing about everything.
Shout out to anyone who's able to help a creator in their creative pursuits. I have been the extra person at a table before, and I know that it is not always the easiest task, but I know just support, be helpful, and keep your mouth shut is a job in and of itself that should be appreciated. But with that, again, check out Girls Make Games, check out Oops, You're the Hero, check out Kit, she's pretty cool. That's us at MDEV 25, Creator Conversations, out.